However, something crazy happened, and that's okay because I'm here to talk about it. This is where the tea gets spilled. The world went crazy because Curiouser and Curiouser dropped. However, the fabric looks a little the top of it, you'll see. How about I show you guys what happened and show you guys the explanation that I can't believe that she did this explanation because it was crazy. Here we go.
Way, it wasn't. It was alliteration, friends. Okay, so we're doing an emergency broadcast because
She had to do an emergency broadcast.
Some talk, whatever, about the fact that at the top of the fabric with the queen on it, there is a partial face, right? Like a partial motif. Her sweet, sweet bouffanty haircut is cut off at the top. And while tragic, I'd like to explain it.
You guys, when I say the world went stupid and crazy, I mean, they were nasty to Tula, like nasty. And I'm like, whoa. And not only to her, they were calling their shops. They were asking for refunds. They were telling people that they were buying knocked off fabric. It was crazy for a minute. I hate that this all happened. I think it was last week. You guys, it was unbelievable. They just went crazy. The quilters went crazy. So,
and you know, my fault. I probably should have told you this early on.
When do people explain their fabric?
Interesting. I filled that space with things. Well, then people started seeing, and rightfully so, I totally understand, started seeing the design from here to here and here to here. And again, you're cutting in.
She's so thoughtful. This is such a thoughtful
I
designer.
really finally nailed it with this one. Because the battle is always, do you make it so the motif is easy to cut out, so the face is easy to cut out, or do you make the whole fabric look nice? Mm-hmm. Like, it's kind of hard to do both, because anytime I put anything in this area, people want to include it. Naturally include it in the cut.
That makes sense.
Okay, so that no matter what, there was plenty of space around it to cut these down into 8.5-inch squares.
Perfect.
So they're about 8 3/4 inches apart.
Love this fabric.
So it's tight, but I wanted to give you as much room as I possibly could. And
here for it.
Because of the size of the screen, I couldn't give you as much room this way. I made up for that by giving you more room here. Are we following so far? I'm looking over at you at my glasses like I'm a mean like.
Poor Tula. She had to do an emergency broadcast, guys.
So I give you more space here. So again, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 heads.
That's all you need.
So
that's all you get.
Here. It's my choice to make this. This fabric.
She gave us 5 instead of 4, and they went crazy.
A crazy mistake. It's me trying to give whatever value I can in every inch of the fabric.
Thoughtful designer.
Maybe there were other ways to figure this out.
No, there weren't.
Once I had the drawing done, the drawing was the size the drawing
you did it.
Was, and my whole concept was based on being able to cut an 8.5-inch square.
Makes sense to me.
Because fabric is 44 wide, 44, 45 wide, and that's a variable you have to remember. So sometimes the fabric's 43.5, sometimes it's 42.25 or 3/4, sometimes
makes
it's
44.25.
Poor Tula. And because I'm always exactly right on the money. So I needed to make sure that all the queens were safe, the main 4 queens were safe, but I didn't want to leave you
a bunch of blank fabric
of nothingness that was not useful.
Mm-hmm.
So I gave you an extra partial face.
Yep.
So that was the idea, and I'm so sorry if that was really confusing.
Oh, she shouldn't have had to do this.
But I just want people to understand
poor
that
Tula.
The fabric is real. It is printed this way, and I absolutely should have explained that better earlier.
I don't know that you should have.
Anyway.
Poor Tula. They ran Tula low. They talked about Tula so bad. They talked about this fabric so bad. It was just like mass hysteria. I kid you not. It was a big deal when it happened. So much so that she had to do an emergency Friday broadcast. Now, if you look at Tula's broadcast, she does something every Tuesday. She does a live. You will see that she gets, maybe 10,000 views, maybe maybe less, somewhere around in there. She gets maybe 100 comments, that kind of thing, maybe 200 comments. This video has thousands upon thousands of views. It was just psycho. So I couldn't not talk about it, but I think that she handled it like a champ, of course. But it turns out she gave us an extra head. We got more. And I saw people doing some of the most creative things with the cutoff head, like on bags and stuff, because you can't always get an 8.5 by 8.5 to line up perfectly on your project unless you're just doing squares. So if you're doing bags or wallets or whatever. So people have done amazing things with it, and people were trying to get people to share their projects with the partial head so that people would leave her alone, because I imagine that there was an influx of emails, and it was crazy, crazy. All right, guys, let's move on to topic 4.